Today I want to talk about 4 reasons why it's a good idea to take your time getting back together with your ex. Hey folks, I am Jim Miller, helping you find and keep the love of your life and write a better love story. I'm going to ask, if you're new to this channel, I would ask you to subscribe. Tick the bell icon when you do, that way you're notified whenever I upload new content. Would also like to ask you to give me a thumbs up, share the video, check the description below the video, some book recommendations and some free ebooks that I give away down there. Also leave a comment if there's something you want me to talk about. I'm getting to the point now where I can start to respond to emails and contacts. I was out of the game for a little while for personal injury or personal illness. Still fighting it, but I'm feeling better, and I'm going to try and make more videos here. But anyway, let's get right into the content. These are 4 reasons why you may want to take your time getting back together with your ex. Reason number 1, absence does make the heart grow fonder. Quite often in a breakup, if you were broken up with, your ex needs some time away from you. Basically, they said, hey, I don't want you in my life. That's kind of why they broke up with you. And they need to experience you not being in their life. Over time, that absence generally tends to kind of evolve, and some of those bad feelings and some of the hurt goes away. Some of the good feelings and some of the quirky things maybe that you did, they can see what you brought to the relationship, and they are going to miss that. If you're blowing up their phone and you're emailing them all the time, or Snapchatting, or whatever it is that you do, you're not out of their life. You're not absent from their life, and what's happening is you're coming across as desperate and whatnot, which is not an attractive quality by any stretch of the imagination. Believe me, some people say begging and pleading works, and it does work sometimes, but it's not effective. I did a video a while ago about seeing yourself as a high-value person. I'll link it up in one of the corners at the end of this video. Stick around, and you can watch that, but you need to see yourself as a high-value person. But that absence can help your ex to miss you, and it can help them to bring some good feelings back into what they're thinking. Reason number 2, taking time to get back together with your ex lets you get beyond the pain, or at least lessen the pain somewhat. Lets you get a little distance from that pain. Okay, so you've been broken up with, it's fairly recent, and you're in a lot of pain. I understand this, but what happens is you take that time trying to get your ex back, and you spend that time focusing on yourself. And one day you'll realize, hey, I didn't think about them for the last 2 minutes. And then I didn't think about them for 3 minutes. I didn't think about them for 5 minutes. I didn't think about them for 10 minutes. I didn't think about it for an hour. It lets you get away from the pain a little bit, which makes you feel better about yourself, or should make you feel better about yourself, and will help you to overcome some of those challenges. So taking your time getting back together with your ex gives you a little distance from the pain. Number 3, and this is kind of controversial. I get a lot of shit about this, if I'm going to be honest with you. It gives you time to consider your options. And what are your options? Well, your options are that you don't want your ex back. You may decide that really wasn't a good fit for a relationship. Your other options are that maybe there's somebody else, or maybe you just want to stay single for a while. But it gives you time to consider those options. It gives you time to figure out who you are, and what you brought to the relationship, and see what your partner brought to the relationship. And I will say this, if you don't spend any time working on yourself, or if your ex doesn't spend any time working on themselves, what ends up happening is the same 2 people get back into a relationship that was broken to begin with. And after that honeymoon phase, see this all the time, a month and a half down the road, you find yourself in the same broken relationship, and it ends again. And you don't want that. Number 4, it allows you time to develop an effective strategy. Now, I don't necessarily like the way that sounds, like there's a strategy to get your ex back, but it does allow you some time to develop an effective strategy, to think about your next move. Gives you some time to think about what would happen if, how would I respond differently if that. I also did another video, again, I'll link it up in one of the corners here, about, 3 steps to better understand your ex. I would recommend that you follow that. You go through and do that homework. It's very effective. Really helped me to understand where my ex was coming from, and it helped me to understand how to respond differently if things did come together. So I'd highly recommend that, but it gives you time to develop a strategy and better understand where your ex is coming from. So that again, when something happens or if something happens, you respond differently than you did before, which is a way of making changes. Now, I get emails all the time from people that basically the email starts out, but you don't understand. There's a benefit to being my age, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 60, by the way. I've been in multiple serious relationships in my life, and what I find out is there's a lot of people that suffer from what we call one-itis, which means this is the one and only person for me. I get a lot of emails from the first love, young kids, 16, 17, 18. This is my first love. This is my only love. This is a person I'm meant to spend my life with. And you may feel that now, but there's a benefit of looking back over my life at my age and realizing that things worked out the way they were supposed to work out. My son is in probably one of the healthiest relationships I have ever seen. But I recall years back when he was younger and getting his heart broke by the woman he was meant to be with. He thought, he would never find anybody better. He would never find anybody that understood him as well. And lo and behold, he has. And he has a tremendously, he's engaged to be married. He has a tremendously healthy relationship between him and his girlfriend, his fiance, I should say. And it's very healthy, and I love to see that. So there is a perspective, when you're younger, things may seem a little more disparate, but trust me, things will work out for the better. If your ex comes back, great. Hopefully you can hold that together. Hopefully you've both made changes, and it's a different relationship. If they don't come back, believe me, it does get better. That's all I have to say today, folks. And I do appreciate everyone that watches the channel. I appreciate the views. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the emails. And like I said, hopefully I'm in a position now where I can start to respond a little bit more and a little bit better. But I do appreciate everybody. Appreciate the support. Thanks again. Have a great day.